It's Alicia, Nora, and Macy on our little green couch.
Ready to talk weekly gossip from behind the chair.
Have a drink or 10 and get ready for the journey.
Join us on the floor with little Fern.
Welcome, everyone. We are on the floor with little Fern, and Alicia is getting her nostrils waxed.
We are in the prep zone,
Yes, we are.
and this is something you will just kind of walk into at the salon from time to time. Usually it's me hiding in the corner with my bare legs out, waxing them.
In her cape, which she likes to place as a skirt.
Instead, it's me today.
Grab a glass. We already have our glasses out. I am drinking some rosé along with Alicia and Nora. They're also drinking some rosé with some ice cubes in it.
Yes.
Join us. Welcome. Grab a glass. Have you ever had your nose waxed? It's quite an experience.
I got my nose waxed for the first time today, and it was invigorating to say the least.
I have inherited my father's nose hairs, and they are
Aggressive.
they really are. They like come out of my nose like spider hairs. It's like tarantulas.
It's like, it looks like something trying to crawl out of there, but it's not crawling, it's just stagnant.
Thank you, Macy, for giving everyone a nice visual.
You're welcome.
They're really dark too. It's really disturbing and quite irritating. It's not like you can tuck them back in.
Well, lucky for Alicia, I have inherited a love of removing hair from people's bodies. And one of my favorite things to wax on people is their nose, because you don't realize that you can get your nose waxed and how good it feels. So right now we have nostril number 1 inserted, and
I really want to see this. Paige has just made an entrance into the salon.
Special guest Paige, first guest ever on the podcast.
She did forget to take these glasses that she was supposed to take today. So, do you want to say something, Paige? Hi, podcasters.
oh,
Beautiful.
nice voice. So as we sit here, I want you to imagine just like a popsicle stick, which is exactly what it is, hanging just out of one of Alicia's nostrils.
Why don't you do them at the same time? Is it so I can breathe?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We don't know who's like a nose breather or a mouth breather, but also it's so I can grip,
Ah,
because I usually plug this one and then pull. And you just kind of like play with it when it seems like it's sitting really firm, and then you just... The follicles are what really excites me.
it's wild.
Let's see that.
Oh my God,
Oh.
there's so many. Why is there so?
Look at the follicles.
It's just so many.
The
Like,
follicles are what really excites me.
it's wild.
Let's see that.
Oh my gosh, the difference. It's actually kind of crazy because you still have a lot of hair in there. But it's not poking out, so that's all that matters.
It's all that matters. Thank God. Hey, I am crying. Thank you. Looks trimmed. It's a trimmed back sea urchin.
Yes. But this is just like an exciting thing you can do for yourself.
It's very invigorating. You really feel like you can smell better.
Yeah. Immediately.
Yeah.
She also just has a very limited pathway. Like she doesn't have a lot of nostril.
I have a deviated septum, so that definitely makes my one nostril pretty tiny.
Do you snore then?
No, I grind my teeth though.
That's not good.
No. I went to the dentist the other day and I saw Mr. Hotman to get my teeth cleaned.
Hot dentist.
This dentist, guys, let me preface, he is smoking hot.
He's attractive.
Oh, that was a
That one was a
that
good
was
one.
a booger.
That one came with a friend.
I want to see.
That one has a lot of...
That one looks like that sand art. You remember when you would like play with sand art and it would like kinetic and it would like stick?
Oh, it looks glorious in there.
Yes.
We're in holiday season, so that's exciting and overwhelming. I like it. I like being obsessively busy, and sometimes I get myself into a little bit of trouble. because during the holidays you forget that there's so much going on that you like didn't necessarily book but you had on the books to do, or like even just you knew you had something going. Like we had the holiday spirit event for the Cancer Support Center, and as much as we were not trying to over prepare for it, there still was preparations to be done, and I feel like I got a little caught up in overbooking myself this weekend with a little bit of funeral work that just popped up. I had a couple other events, but I mean, I like it like that. That's why I like this season, because you just stay continuously busy and distracted during seasonal depression month.
You did make a beautiful display. It was very pretty. We also did knock. I would say we did a good setup for holiday spirits.
It was beautiful.
It was very good. Would I say that it was what I was expecting? No.
Was it a profitable event? No. Did we enjoy ourselves? 100%.
But it was okay. Do we think that next year we will just attend and drink? Absolutely.
Yes.
And that takes me into the Hunger Games. Not really takes me into there, but this is my positive of the week, I guess. I went this Monday. I watched the new Hunger Games movie, which is The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. I read the book around 2, 3 weeks ago, and I've wanted to see it for a while now. I went with Aiden, and we saw it on Monday. It was very good. I feel like all Hunger Games movies are, where they don't include nearly enough detail from the books into the movies. I know that it's being a movie producer, it's probably very hard to do so, but there were certain things where I was kind of disappointed on. But as somebody who just would watch the movie without knowing the context of the books, I think that they did a very good job. I did like who played Lucy Gray Baird.
Rachel Ziegler, Rachel Ziegler, Rachel. It's Rachel. Me and Luke just literally had this conversation the other day about whether or not the book, there's very few movies that are better than the book. Like, doesn't happen. I stand by my thought, and this is a hill that I like pretty much died on in this argument with my husband, that the books are always better than the movie because there's just so much more description. I don't know why that word was so weird for me to say. I'm very sorry. That you just can't get that in a movie. And I mean, if you were, the movie would then be like 6 hours long. You know, like you just can't. They have to condense. It's just, that's the nature of the beast. But he tried to tell me that there were some movies that were better. Then we come to find out it's because this motherfucker didn't read the books. I mean, I'm going to stand by that. It was because we watched Dune. He made me watch Dune, which I hadn't watched before and had nothing against it. It's just that I then found out it was a book. So then, of course, naturally, because it was a very big book. But of course, I asked Luke if he had read the book before watching the movie, because, that's my favorite thing to do. And he said, of course I didn't. The book is like, as he points out, like 7 inches thick. So he's like, I didn't read that. And I said, okay, why? I mean, I have nothing to go off with Dune in particular, because I, of course, didn't read the book because I didn't even know it was a book until clearly after I watched this movie. So I just say that every book to movie I have ever watched, the book is always better.
And that's the appeal in the book versus the movie. Yes, don't get me wrong. The movie is an own masterpiece of itself, but that does not mean that it's better than the book, because the book 9 times out of 10 will go into so much greater detail and better everything than the movie.
But it's just true.
So that was book club with Macy and Alicia. Now you guys know what I have to deal with here on a regular basis.
I'm a really good book right now. But we won't even get into that because clearly Nora cut us off at book club. So what I'm excited about for this week, that's also not what this podcast is about, book club, but we could dive into that later. So honestly, I'm kind of in holiday burnout, but I think that that's not a very happy thing that's happened this week. But what I can say is that a exciting thing is that most of the people that happen around this time of the year are your favorite your favorite people that you get to see. People that are cramming in on your books, or the people that you generally see around the holidays. I don't know if it works out in that mysterious way, but it tends to be some of your favorite guests or just favorite people in general. And I really enjoy that time of year. So it's been really fun to end nights with a lot of your favorites, end the week with your favorites, and just share those days with them.
And the ironic part about that is that while we have been blessed with amazing clients, we've also had some off-putting experiences
You
recently.
gotta take the good with the bad, and holiday brings out some real bad in people.
Take it away, Alicia.
I just, what ends up happening with that kind of a story of what I'm going to tell you right now is my guest who walked in, who was clearly having what I can only assume to be a rough go at life because she was past her appointment. She came in, she breezed right on in, and she just,
Significantly past her appointment.
yes, yeah,
Alicia was already at the point of being almost halfway through the wash of the appointment after this woman.
That's how far into the next appointment we were already. And she doesn't even say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I missed my appointment. Oh my God, anything. It was more, don't I have X, Y, and Z amount of time with you? And that's how she opened the floor with her time in here. And I was very taken back by like the fact that like she came in a little disheveled. She also came in a little erratic. And then the opening was very like, aren't I supposed to have more time with you? Felt very like I was just alarmed.
Like supposed to drop everything with the current client that you were with and to start assisting her, which not only is unfair to that client because that client showed up on time, but also is unfair to you, especially when you come in huffing and puffing and not even apologizing for your delay in time.
The worst part about this entire experience, and I'm just going to tell you right now, before we even get into the nitty-gritty of it, is that it was so uncomfortable that it was uncomfortable for the guests that I was now working on. It was really uncomfortable for everyone in the salon. And I've been outright yelled at in my career many times over. And that was fine. Something about this made it worse somehow. It was like this weird, like, you need to stop what you're doing and you need to fix this for me, even though there is nothing that can be done or should be done. Like it was weird and it was just making everyone involved very uncomfortable.
Especially because it was kind of the things that not only she said, but also the things that she didn't say. I mean, one of the first things she said is that we didn't call her to let her know that she was running late. First of all, they get tens of notifications letting them know when their appointment is. Second of all, does your doctor call you when you're running late for your appointment?
I mean, I don't know that you're running late until you're running late. And then by that point, it's kind of a hard, like, you missed your appointment. Like, in the hair world, there's really not much I can do to salvage that. Like, we run such a tight ship here, and I run such a tight book that, like, when you're already too late, you're already late. Like, that you're too late. There's really nothing we can do for that. The first things out of my mouth was, no, you missed your appointment. However, as Macy just like happened to be walking out from the back room because she heard somebody walk in, I said, but what we can do is we can make you a new appointment. We can find you a new time.
I think the most irritating part about it is she is the person that is at fault in the situation, yet she is making it your problem and making it seem like you did something to make her late and saying that she's having a horrible day. Yes, we get it. We all have really bad days, but does that mean that you can come to your appointment and expect you to drop everything when you're an hour late? Absolutely not.
She didn't want to hear any of that. She literally said, well, you can't do anything for me right now. I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. Like it was straight into
like a threat.
Yeah, it was straight into a threat of you can't fix me right now. You can't drop what you're doing at this exact moment and fix it right now. You can't do anything for me after that.
It was very uncomfortable too because like I do, Alicia's busy, so I check her out. I am very kind to her, like any person in the service industry. Like you don't have to put on a face, but also like you want to. It's your customer service sort of thing that you do. I check her out, give her a bag and everything, and then tell her to have a good day and happy holidays. Doesn't say thank you, doesn't look at me, literally walks out and doesn't say anything else. And that has got to be the most uncomfortable part of it too, where it's like, we're just doing our jobs. And this happens a lot in the service industry where people think that they're so above you. And like, I think it's situations like that that's even why it's more uncomfortable, because she felt like she had to be prioritized even though she was the one who fucked up.
It was very off-putting. It was a really strange, like, there was no like she didn't take any ownership for being like late. It was more like, well, and then she said something like, well, I had a really rough day, or I had a lot of things happen in my day, or honestly, I don't remember what the exact verbiage was, but it was very like, well, my day, a lot of things happen in my day. And it's kind of like, okay, I 100% respect that. I get that. A lot of shit happens in my day every day, but it felt very like her day was more valuable than our day, and then the person who she's now talking about in the bowl's day.
Even when they're in here being negative or feeling feelings, like I don't know if you guys heard Trish today, but her friend was in here getting her hair done as well. And she said, "Oh my God, I just feel like every time I come in here, it's like steel magnolias. Like we're all friends, and my friends are in here, and you're friends with my friends. And I just love coming in here."
Which is also interesting too when you're interacting with somebody and they walk in versus then you're behind the chair, like Alicia's client yesterday. And I mean, you just described what happened yesterday between you and your client.
She huffle-puffed when she came in, like she knew that there was an issue. It was also the presentation of how that was handled because we are very accommodating if somebody is going through something because we also run behind, but we also pick it right back up and put that amount of time back into their appointment. Had we been communicating, had she communicated differently, that situation would have gone differently. And you would have taken a moment to say, hold on a minute, let me see if I can squeeze you in 40 minutes.
And then that was what I really didn't appreciate, because it was so uncomfortable then for the next guest who was sitting there, who she then anticipated that I would just drop everything to accommodate her for. So then it just became very uncomfortable, like as if she was the most important person who had walked into the room. And let me say, I make every guest feel like they are the most important person as they walk into this room. But that doesn't mean that you are the most, like you're more important than somebody else. When you're with me, your time is just as valuable as my time, but you're not more important than someone else when they are now here. I was very thrown off by it. And then she just kept getting more and more aggressive, is what it felt like, and more disrespectful. And then I just kind of thought, like, oh man, this is not how this person has ever spoken to any of us in the time I have ever known her. So then, you always want to give somebody grace to be like, well, something's definitely going on. But at the same time, they didn't start with that. They didn't lead with like what was happening in their day or what was going on or what brought them to this spot or anything for us to then say, hey, we get it. Something happened. We're so sorry. Let's figure something out. It was just very like, I thought I had an hour with you. I need you to drop whatever you're doing right now and tend to me. Oh, you can't? Well, I guess I'm going to have to go somewhere else then.
Well, I'm going to spill the tea on this. First of all, I have a different outlook because I was the first person that these people saw when they came into our larger salon, of which I was not doing hair at the time, and I was a front desk associate, and they would never speak to a hairstylist like that because they chose to speak to us like that. And that's like the weirdest thing from going to being at the front desk, full frontal service industry, and then going behind the chair. And people are completely different, like for those two separate professions. And she has acted like that before, I recall, because I remember when she first started coming to us individually, I thought, oh, I'm a little scared of her sometimes. But, I get that with some people, and they're some of my favorite clients now because they're more vulnerable with you when you're a hairstylist, and, as they should be. And we are with them. But, like, as a front desk person, receptionist, you're taking these people on, like, right when they're coming in, and you're actually handling messages between two people and trying to be the middle person to carry, like, that service through and keep things moving. It's very interesting. I think it's the holiday season for everybody, or they're not up high enough.
It was weird. It really stuck with me. I'm not gonna lie. I came home and I even told Luke about the whole story. He goes, I think it bothers you most because you've known her for a long, like she's been a client for so long. I mean, there's clearly something in the water with my guests right now. They're really trying to push me to quitting or something. I don't really know. They want me in an early retirement grave. I like to blame it on the holiday. I just think that holiday burnout is real. Holiday stress is real. Holiday, everything is upped. The cortisol levels are up, your stress levels are up. They're not out of booze, they're out of weed, they're out of all the things that they need to chill out. And so then I had another client in yesterday, and she had been talking about how she had been continually, honestly, I don't really know how we got on the subject. I clearly rage blacked it out at this point. I think she brought it up that she had been wearing her hair up to bed every night in a tight pony on the top of her head.
This is not just a client that walked in.
No.
They were in your chair.
No.
That's what I was picturing.
They were already in my chair. Yeah, we were discussing what to do with her haircut because she feels like she wasn't quite ready for her haircut because she says she feels like her hair's never, so here's how we got to this point. Well, I rewound in my brain. Now I'm ready. You walk through with a client, no matter how long you've been seeing them, you do a consultation every time. If you're not out there in the world, you should be. And so I'm doing a consultation with my guest. She was saying that she felt like it hadn't been enough weeks in between her haircut because she felt like her hair really hadn't grown much. And I said, oh, interesting. So she's like, no, I don't really want to take much off my ends. I want to do a lot of layering though. Relayer it back up, blah, blah, blah. And just as long as I could still get it up to put it up for bed. Because, I wear it up in a tight pony to go to bed in every night. And I thought,
it's called friction. If anybody wants to look up friction, that's number one.
Shouldn't be wearing it tight up. You still want to wear it up a little bit so you're loosely gathering it so that it stays curled. That's the concept behind that. You don't want to be wearing your hair up and tight in a pony to go to bed ever. And so she's telling me this, and then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, have we never discussed this before? That's terrible for your hair. But now it's making sense that she's getting a lot of this underneath and along her hairline breakage. She's getting the reverse breakage. Yes, she's getting reverse breakage than she would with a low regular ponytail line breakage. She's getting all that rubbing that is happening from her pillow.
Alicia's really good at giving hard truths. And also that's our job to do that, but they don't want to hear it.
Yes. Get ready. It's going to get worse for you. It's going to hurt your soul as this conversation continues. I said, oh, don't do that. I had a panic. It was hurting my soul. And I said, oh, we're going to stop that. And she was like, why? And I go, you just don't want to do that. That you should be wearing your hair. You could do braids. She was like, well, I just don't like tossing and turning on my hair. I don't like sleeping on my hair. It gets hot. And I was like, that's no problem.
And I could feel the tension increasing because at that point she tried comparing her putting her hair up to you putting your hair up during the day. And then I said, I'm going to the back now.
Then she tells me, well, don't worry. By the time I wake up in the morning, it's gone anyways. I said, that's another issue. You're clearly an aggressive sleeper who's now ripping it around on your pillowcase.
And this is how we feel about you taking care of your body. We're not judging you, but we know how you should be doing it better.
So it feels like we're starting to get into an all-out fight about it. She doesn't want to hear, don't do that anymore. And that's why we're having this issue with your hair. She just wants to continue to do the thing that she was told not to do anymore. So it's getting me hot. It's getting me hot, guys. It's brought me back. The PTSD is happening. It felt like she didn't like what I was saying to her, and so she felt like she could just argue her way out of it, but then complain about your hair and why you're not getting a said result, but your at-home care is the direct reason why you're not getting said result. And then she said, so braids then, right? And I said, yes, braids. And then we moved on, and we had a lovely haircut, and it was fine. We went back on track. It was fine. It got heated for a second, but it's not to say that this isn't the first incident that, as Lauren said, my tough love doesn't come out. I will definitely tell them what they need to hear. Some might like my style. Some might say it's not for them.
And the thing is, there's interactions like that, and then there's interactions where your clients just don't even show up at
I
all.
mean, the clients are getting wild lately again, and I just got over this whole phase of these cancellations and no-shows, and I'm back on it. My client last week showed up 35 minutes late for her appointment.
This particular client, she always does.
Repeat offender. She was here with the situation of the client coming in an hour after her appointment. So it was very funny that there was not even an acknowledgement about, sorry, I was so late.
This specific customer that showed up 35 minutes late to Nora the other day literally had the balls to say, because she heard me complaining about a situation in my life.
You know what? She loves it. And I've loved her more this year than ever because she really takes the abuse and gives it to me. So like I'll give her verbal and she will give me action.
The best is that she literally said, and you thought I was a rough client, Alicia, because I'm not the worst client. And I literally paused. I wish this was on camera. We deadpanned, looked right at each other. I said, I wouldn't go that far.
We do. Her and I have much different boundaries than we used to have. And I will tell her no if things are awry.
She comes 35 minutes late.
Clients being wild. I'm getting this lateness. I'm getting no shows. And then when I reach out, they say, oops, sorry, I forgot. But actually, they didn't even use the word sorry. They just stated what was happening, which was a catastrophe, and then moved on.
I would have rather had that. At least you're getting like something. I'm getting the disrespect.
Well, wait till you hear about this, because the said person from last week who was so late for her appointment waited until 1 hour before the 24-hour cancellation period that I have to cancel her appointment for tomorrow afternoon, leaving me a 2-hour gap in the middle of my day.
I hit it up with a 48 girl. I said 48.
And I even reached out to them to ask because they asked me if I would be working Saturday instead of coming in on Thursday. And I said, no, I don't work Saturday. And then they waited 12 hours from that point to cancel their appointment with me. The 1 hour before the 24 hours.
Yeah, I said 48. Let's not play games no more. 48. Because you know what? I need way more than 24 hours to hit up my wait list.
It just was like you knew. And also, that is something that I should be charging for. But I have a 24-hour cancellation policy, and she slid in under the radar for that. And I'm going to need to move it to 48.
Yeah.
I need more than 48 hours. I needed you to not have that spot 1 full week before this occurred because now I've been holding that spot.
Let's be very clear. I need a lot longer than 48 hours to fill that for the wait list, but at least 48 is better than 24 hours.
4 weeks. It takes 4 weeks to fill a spot.
So yeah, so like honestly, it's way hard to fill world out there, podcast world, our 10 listeners, whoever's out there. Every once in a while you really luck out and you get like cancellations that open. Like, and you can pop in somebody real fast. They slide on into that like perfect opening. Macy's really gassy today. But on the off chance, it just really sucks when, you don't give enough time.
It takes us to a place where we're professionals, but we're also artists, and it makes us have to take a mirror look at ourselves and question why people are having these reactions, why they're not showing up for their appointments, why they're not respecting you, if they think you're not good enough, if they just think that they can just go run off and find somebody else. Like, you don't feel like that about your relationship with them, but then they suddenly feel like that. And like, we are understanding a lot of times, I think if you like have to see somebody else because timing or whatever, but when they do things like that where they're like, well, fine, I'll just go somewhere else. And you're like, well, whoa.
You know we all have them, and you have them regardless of where you're going. You have them when you go to the grocery store. You have them when you go shopping. You have them when you go to a restaurant. You have them like it's universal. It happens. Sometimes sucks when it's on the opposite end for us. You know what I like? We never want our clients to have a bad experience. I can really spiral from that. And when I was younger, I really would. Like when I was a young artist, I that would send me into a spiral for days. I'd be like, fuck this. I'm never going to be a hairstylist. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to make it. No one likes me. I suck at my profession. Like, and I mean, that's an interaction that actually had nothing to do with how I cut hair. Like, honestly, like neither of those interactions this week did. They both had to do with like human interaction. They had absolutely nothing to do with how my talent or what I do for a living. And that's the difference. Those were human interactions. Those weren't even like technical interactions.
And then there's good interactions, though. I mean, we had our good interaction with Abby yesterday, who works for the Cancer Support Center. Also, like, yeah, then we have Jess and Julia. They were here last Friday, and that was just an immaculate vibe. Those days when you get people coming in that are not only clients, but are friends outside of the hair salon, it really makes your day as a person who works here.
Honestly, some of those guests that you brought up became friends from the salon. They were not friends before they came here. They became friends from coming here. And, you know, that is what we hope for. We hope that every single one of you leave and are later like, well, she does my hair, but she's like also my friend.
Which is honestly so fun to be like, yeah, we made it out of the hairstylist space. Now we're actually friends.
Now we're friends. We like do things outside of this.
Yeah. Or if they're just being quiet, they can be quiet and people do pick up that vibe. But then, like, if my client ain't talking, I'm definitely dipping into your conversation over there for sure.
I am a double dipper into conversations. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I will be minding my own business, sweeping the salon, and I always feel the need to make my voice known. When either of you guys are talking to your clients,
That is a new vibe that I think is very exclusive to our salon. And I really think that a good percentage, if not all of our clients, really enjoy that.
He has, people say prison changed you. The salon changes you. I can say that from experience.
I really do enjoy that. The vibe here, I mean, since the moment that I was hired, I remember Nora saying that she wanted me to come here and hang out. And as somebody who has worked a lot, I said, what the fuck does that mean? You want me to come and hang out? Yes, I mean, I know that y'all are cool and everything, but I want to work. I don't want to hang out. And I love that my job never, I mean, yes, it is busy, it is hectic, and it is a lot, and it's demanding sometimes, but I feel like I am hanging out constantly here. I feel like I am one of the people gossiping. I just love the fact that I really do feel like I'm hanging out here, and it took me a while to get accustomed to the hangout nature of the salon. I've always been like my mom. I'm very low maintenance when it comes to hair, to all things self-care. Recently, not as much. I actually do like doing all those things. I did not really know what I wanted out of my life at all before coming here. Like, if we want to get deep as fuck, like, I mean, I was going to Governor State University. Don't get me wrong, I was going there for a degree, and like I did an internship before I came here for social media. I hated it. Like, that's actually the funny part, is that like the fact that I do social media here and I love it. I mean, it also just shows that it depends on the content that you're posting and the things that you're doing, but I have a much clearer focus of what I can see myself doing in the future. Obviously, I want to be here for as long as I want to be here. Like, I want to be here for forever. But that's not always possible. You never know what happens, or
Alicia and I are getting old. We're going to retire soon. So you can leave when we retire.
or places take you, or whatever.
Or when all of my clients leave because they're mad at me.
They're going to be like that one person who people come here and be like, she's actually really mean and I can't go see her anymore because she didn't even do my hair nicely and she wasn't even like...
She's super mean.
No, that person exists and it's not you.
Can't you tell?
Hmm?
You guys are super gassy tonight.
I'm eating dairy right now. So, yeah.
But the gases are coming from my butt right now. It was definitely the sour cream that I had on the potato pancakes. I lathered it. Like, when I tell you, I had like potato pancake with the sour cream instead of the other way around.
Our dinner the other night, I had a little crostini bread.
Oh, that pizza was good. Did you have that piece of pizza? Was that what you had?
Yeah.
We went out for dinner. We do family dinners.
Yes, it's delicious.
Yeah, I don't get invited to family dinners, guys. They don't love me.
Well,
They call me their daughter, but I don't get invited to family dinners.
no, it's just for the inner family.
I'm just giving you guys shit. I'm just giving you guys shit.
Michelle isn't even invited.
Okay, so you're gonna put me on Michelle level? What the fuck?
Yeah. Literally my sister.
Funny. Yeah, no, we don't bring Michelle.
That's just, it's fine. It's just whatever, guys. I know you guys don't love me. It's whatever.
I'm pretty sure though, if Macy just showed up, like everyone would be like, all right.
It's not like a rage. No, it's not like a rage out. It's just like,
Well, yeah, and you guys, it's also like with the kiddos, and I like that. It's very cute.
my enjoyment is also like I've said this to Bill when we have family dinner at people's houses. Like it's not like planning dinners with people or planning like, if you go out with Aiden and you want to get together with another couple, or if you're getting together with like multiple friends that you have to like put on you got to get on your A game. You got to be sociable.
So would you say that this is kind of the opposite of that?
Yeah.
This is kickback. This is like we could be sitting on our phones. We could be binge watching Love in the Wild.
Alicia got very geeked about that. She almost jumped out of her seat talking about Love in the Wild.
Because I chose it the last time when we were all
We just like, we can watch Dateline and like, not even have a conversation with each other. And it just feels good being around each other.
Well, it's because we're like legitimately like family. And so the boys put on a movie, the girls put on a show. The boys were at one end of the table. I don't even know what they were looking up because they were on phones and stuff, doing things and hanging out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got high, we drank, we ate, the kids hung out. It was good.
Speaking of dinners, I'm going out to dinner with Aiden. I'm doing like family dinner, but like it's like worlds colliding.
Oh, she's doing family dinner part deux. She's making her new family, is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Macy is going where we just came from at family dinner.
It's really, I'm like actually like very nervous about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Why? Is your mom going to tell embarrassing stories of when you were a child?
No, it's more of like my mom, love you, mom, but she's been very, like, what's the word? It's like she's very demanding of this relationship, or like she has such high expectations, which is like fair enough. She's my mom. She wants me to be with somebody who like treats me well, who respects me, who not only is involved in my life, but is also somewhat involved in her life, which I completely understand and respect. Consistently she makes these comments about our relationship where it's like, oh, well, I can't believe he does that, or something like that, or why doesn't he come over here all the time? Well, if you want me to actually answer those questions, the fact that I go over to his place more than he comes over to my place is because I feel way more comfortable at his place. Every time that he comes over, it's like I always get berated with questions, or like, oh, I can't believe you sprung this on me. I can't believe he's coming over. Like, we hang out like last minute. That's what people do. You can't like plan every single day that you're going to hang out during the week with your significant other. You just do. So I'm just really nervous for the dinner, and I feel like where his family has made me feel nothing but comfortable, I'm more just nervous for him because he doesn't deserve to like feel uncomfortable.
And I understand that.
I don't even feel like it needs to be like that kind of interaction. It could just be like in the moment, like, hey, what's your plans for the holidays? Like it could be very like simple interaction.
It should hopefully be very light and surface level. You don't need to be in this bitch. Like, does he have a good job? Who is he? How tall is he? Like, what's the
I think really what you should really, really be focusing on is the fact that all of their drinks come from a tap. They do little flights of their cocktails. It's all tapas style. So it's just like ordering a bunch of food that everybody might like. It's going to be delicious. And I was telling her this earlier. It's over stimmy central in there. Yeah, it'll be good because you'll have like the noise of everybody talking and being together, the servers running around. Our server was interesting. She was wild.
Feelings are feelings. That's
what?
for sure.
What in the
Podcast world, we
butt?
got back together. It's been about a month since we've been back together, okay? Just a quick run up because I know you guys are probably like, what the fuck is going on? A couple episodes ago, Macy was just broken up with by this man. But it's been like a very big difference. I know where he stands with his feelings, not only from him saying it, but also just actions. Like I can just like feel it more, you know, where like you can actually feel the connection with somebody versus like them saying that there's a connection there. So it's definitely it's been really good, but it's kind of scary. And I think that because that things are getting like to like a deeper level, that I think that not only why I'm overthinking the dinner with my mom, but I'm also just like scared because last time that things were kind of getting a little bit deeper, this man ran for the fucking hills. So I'm nervous because I'm like, I'm trusting you with my fucking heart again, and I'm not going to do that again. So
I think you just got to go in with prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
You know what? I will say that I do love the idea of hearing he just came over just because, or that you guys are just like organically getting together, which means you're comfortable. He's comfortable. He's being vulnerable, maybe. You know what else is really scary when that happens? And then your salon assistant tries to date somebody for a brief period of time that is on the town you live and work in's fire department, and then you fail your fire inspection.
Because that happened to us this week as well.
And we're not really sure if it's because Macy dropped him. He was a perfectly nice gentleman from what we hear, but just not a lot of interest.
Y'all aren't vibing, and that's fine. But it's very suspect
it's suspect about the fact, especially where it's like
in the time
they came on a date
that we
was
failed.
here.
I'm just saying.
He said, well, that doesn't mean fail, but then how else are you fucking supposed to interpret the word fail?
You know, like anything, I reached out to my mom.
Before you called me.
No, I called her last night when I was still kind of hot and bothered by it in general.
And she is in full, she calls me immediately.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was spam. First of all, I thought it was spam, and I thought this can't be real, and I didn't open it. But then I opened it, and the PDF wouldn't even open. And then I thought, definitely spam. Then when it opened, it just kept saying fail. But it was, first of all, it was all red, big red lettering that just said fail, 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 fail.
She sees the thing. She doesn't even take time to take it in.
It was aggressive. It felt very aggressive.
It had 7 fails. Not that we're counting.
It's giving Roman times numeral 12-point font, double spaced with 1-inch margins. Also, the red text is aggressive as who?
Red.
Who changes font text? I mean color.
Color. The color.
Who changes the color?
It was 12-point font, probably. 18, all caps.
Damn the man.
So she calls me, his name is, I think his name is James. It's James. Okay, fucking Jim.
Oh, we're talking about Jim, the fire inspector.
So Jim comes in on a day that we're not here. We know what the thing means now because I did a little dip into my HR profession and I handled a phone call with Jim and I made him walk me. He's like, well, what is it you want to discuss?
I said, I went straight to rage. I was about to go burn down town hall.
Oh, it was the whole thing.
And then the fire department. Because I'm pretty sure they're all against us. And then I called my mom and she said, I think they are too.
Moral of the story is that because I stopped responding to this guy and because clearly the fire department was involved in this, like when he did come here with his coworkers. I think that they have a vendetta against us. And it's really, really suspicious about the fact that we just failed our fire inspection. We've never failed it before and nothing has changed.
I'm going to tell you that the village was super negligent during COVID, but that's part of it. Also, Jim is new. So, and I said, I don't know if you know this, but we number 1, cannot handle seeing the word fail that many times. And number 2, I need you to walk me through every pinpoint of things that's going on. And he was very confused at why he needed to walk us through each of those points.
Why wouldn't you? You didn't make sense in half of them. Even though we are creatives, we are also very smart businesswomen. And secondly, some of that wording didn't even make fucking sense.
It's giving pig Latin.
It's giving revenge era.
It's giving vendetta because Macy wouldn't let the P in the V. It's what it's giving.
I'm sorry. It's not my fault, especially. I'm just saying, like, he got voted off the island real fucking quick.
He's off the chopping block. She got voted off the island. All that really matters is that we failed our fire inspection because Macy refused to continue to see him. So we really just blame Macy for this inconvenience in our life.
I'm sorry that I'm just that hot, where like people like take it out on us like that. It's not my fault that I am beautiful.
I literally said last night while I was still hot about this, because Luke heard me talking on the phone to my mother about it. He goes, I go, I don't blame Macy. And he goes, no, you shouldn't. You blame the firemen who are now angry because that's how they take out their anger is by failing you guys, the poor business owners. I said, exactly.
It's also not like, mind you, it's not my fucking business. I just work here.
I have really spiraled this narrative, by the way, and if this has absolutely nothing to do with it.
It's for the goss. Guys, it's for the goss. It's theories. It is speculation, and we are all for it. Do not take a single word of this seriously, but at the same time, do.
I 100% don't think the two correlate. This is like conspiracy theories are us. It just felt very sus that like this happened.
We're Fox News right now. Don't trust a thing.
This is the Fox News version of this is all news media, all news media. Don't you have no idea what the fuck's going on. That being said, about us being dramatic, I got on the phone with Jim and he said, actually, you had way more passes than fails. So you should be really pleased about that. And I said, then why did we get a letter that only said fail, Jim? Because we can't really handle that word was so many times. And he said, we technically got an A minus. And I said, that's what I like to hear. But this also goes back to us being dramatic, and we expect like when these gentlemen come into our lives to fix things. He's fixing something for us. We need him to fully follow through with the fixing. We have a little bit of daddy issue.
Well, we have full-blown daddy issues, but that's for a whole nother podcast.
Speaking of daddy issues, I definitely don't have daddy issues, but I have mommy issues. But my dad did die when I was super young, so feel bad for me.
Pretty sure that just said daddy issues. No.
Well, some person tried telling me that because I did not have a dad while growing up that I can't have daddy issues. And I said, well, isn't that kind of the whole point?
No, that means like 100% daddy issue.
Abandonment issues. Welcome to the Abandonment Podcast.
And I feel neglected. Knock, knock. Who's there? Daddy issues. Bon, bon. Shh.
Yeah. So we just, anytime a male figure comes into our life to fix something that we
Latch.
that we can't fix ourselves, we really latch onto them.
AKA Daddy Joe.
AKA Daddy Jeremy.
AKA Electrical Man. AKA Plumbing Man. AKA Fire Department Man. AKA
Robbie.
Any of them. They really work for us.
If you said that, we said daddy issues.
But yes, that's our thing. That's our shtick, is that we have no dads. So, I mean, I have a dad. Like, he tried to die a few times, but it's like, really?
How's everyone's nights going? What are we looking forward to?
Things just kind of come up this season that you don't, as I already discussed, you didn't know you like could have been doing, or so like it is nice to not have a plan, because if something does come up, then you don't feel overwhelmed. I just get excited about, like, I like doing the little holiday things, especially the things that you really like to do. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I have I have 2 workshops, not this weekend, but next weekend. Well, we'll see if the one pans out. I'm not putting a lot of effort into trying to book these things, but I am starting to book them again because it's something that I want to like continue doing.
What do I got on the docket? I think nothing, and I'm kind of looking forward to the nothing because it is so chaotic for the week. So exciting. It's all big things happening. We're real excited around here. We're gonna start doing a few new things at the salon, merchandise wise. So that's exciting. But okay, end of podcast. Have a great week. Don't stress as much as I did over people saying mean things to you because it's holiday season and they're burnt out. And
I'm gonna take my bra off in the car for my 28-minute drive.
don't forget your Christmas card on the way out. We love you from your Fern family.
Don't forget your coat.
Good night.
Bye, baby girl.
It's Nora, Alicia, and Macy.
We are a girly podcast and we are on the floor.
Did I go the wrong way?
You definitely did.